So you guys know about Street Fighter 3 Third Strike parrying, right?
Yes.
Look at this and tell me. See, so this is the other. See, you know, I hate when people say one or the other. When people say, "Oh, Japanese players aren't that good," I'm sorry. We just discussed fighting games are objectively one of the hardest, and I have my proof. Now we can also objectively prove fighting game players in Japan are built different. There's a Japanese dude of work on his phone. How? He's not even looking. For those who don't understand, bro, Third Strike is literally considered one of the hardest fighting games. I know the parry itself isn't that hard, but trust me, especially as a beginner, play Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, put the trial modes. Like, no, you guys want to know how hard? This is why I got into fighting games and why I love Third Strike. The quarter circle was already like mind blowing to me. When I was doing parry trials, I literally, bro, it felt, and I've done a lot of things, bro. I've done some Guitar Hero stuff, whatever. It was the first time in my life when I played a video game and I said, "This is impossible." And mind you, remember, this is Greatest Gamer talking right now. One of the greatest gamers of all time. This is one of the few and only games I ever said, "This is impossible," and I gave up. I never give up, bro. The only other game that did that was Vanquish's Final Trial. Those that live rent-free in my head. And yet now, years later, I did all the trials for Street Fighter Third Strike. No, parrying is that fucking hard. The fact he's doing, I'm like, no, you are built different, bro. By the way, if you guys want to know what parrying is, in a sense, especially the trials, imagine Guitar Hero notes, but they're stricter and there's no music to go to it. Oh, and by the way, the buttons, the colors, they're invisible. Have fun. That is the best way I could describe to you how fucking hard Third Strike parrying trials are, bro. It's like, imagine playing like the hardest Guitar Hero song, and then it's strict as shit, and you can't even see the notes, and there's no music to go to. You just gotta see the dude move and be like, fuck it, we're doing it. So again, like, don't get me wrong, by the way, a quote a dude said that lived there is Japan not only has some of the best players in the world, but it has the most amount of scrubs. And this is very true. Like, and I do have to agree, so by that same sense, like, basically the average Call of Duty and average Mortal Kombat player would clap the average Japanese player. And from what I see, it's because they're so passive. They're not aggressive. Like, that's really what it is. Like, you guys both have the same skill level. Like, because people are the same. The problem is, like, the average Japanese person is just so timid. You know, like, you would win by button mash. You know, Japanese players don't button mash. And even if they do, it's not at the level of, like, an American player. So, fun fact, if you're listening to this and you're, like, the average dude who plays COD, you could beat most of Japan's population. But once you get to the people who try in Japan, oh, no, they cook y'all. Because unlike Americans, they actually know what it takes to get good. Like, here's the thing about Japan, is that they have this philosophy. If you do anything, never half-ass it. And yeah, no, that's why they have such good voice actors. They literally have a school for voice acting, and they have an entire ranking system for voice acting. America doesn't have that. That's why, objectively, voice acting in Japan cooks. And same with their animation. Japan never half-asses anything, no matter how small it is. Whereas America, people shit and joke and be like, "Oh, those are cartoons, those are for kids." Japan, like, I don't care if it's for kids, we're going all out. Japan doesn't have that mentality like America does. And then people wonder why they're so advanced in so many ways. They don't half-ass anything they do. And like someone says, they work hard, they play hard. No, dude, you know this dude was hustling at the job. My man says, "I'm a long day of work, let me play fucking Third Strike." And that's why I think the #1 difference why Japanese gamers are better than Americans. Americans, after a long day of work, they want to play something easy. That's why these bitches, you know, Black Dude 554, I seen in an interview, he says, "Oh man, I just want to win. I had a hard day of work. I want to play." Then go play an offline game, you fucking dumbass. But instead of doing that, what does the average American do? "Oh, I'm gonna look up hacks and cheats so I can start winning more." What does a Japanese player do? "Man, I had a hard day of work. Man, I'm getting my ass beat by this game. This is some good shit. Let me master this shit." Like, completely different mentality. And that's why I think, for sure, that I think the culture shows you why certain people are really a good example. Like, why Mexicans are so good at KOF. Very similar to Japanese people. Hey, we play hard, we work hard, right? But there's a whole lot, you know, obviously boxing and thing. But why for us? We're very warrior centered. Like, being a warrior is very well respected as a Mexican, and that's why we're good at KOF. It appeals to what we do. It has a style we like. And again, Mexicans, if you get us to really like something, and we're gonna cook, and that's why we're really like, dude. Again, KOF Mexican players are notorious for being really, like, think about it. Even the Japanese fucking fear us in KOF, bro. That fucking says something. And that's why, to me, Americans, the only reason they're good at most things we've seen in sports is because of the fact that it's a melting pot. That's why they're so good. And even people, "Oh, they're American born, this and that." Yeah, let's say Irish or whatever. Like, yeah, but I guarantee you, how much money you want to bet that American football player has years of Irish lineage being taught to him, like, "Hey, we're Irish, we work hard, whatever." Meanwhile, the average American that's not in touch with their heritage just sucks dick because they don't get that foreign influence. They're only born as an American. You know, people, to me, Like, who again, I guarantee you, anyone who's even like blacks, like, no, they get on this culture of this is what we come from, this is our beliefs, and they carry that with them in the sport, you know. And, but I think if you're just American, and even if you can say you're like me, like full Latinian, but if you're raised by Mexicans, but if you're only around American culture, you don't inherit none of the good parts of your culture, you know. That's why a lot of Latinians that are here in America are garbage. Like, they're mad looked down, you know, because they don't speak any of their native language. And they don't have that work ethic that Latinians are known for. Guess what? Because they were raised as an American. And America does not have a work. No, Americans are the hardest working. No, they're not. Oh, they have the most hours. Like, yeah, but if you've seen the average American, you know, obviously there's other people in industries, depending, like obviously all workers are hard workers. But from my experience, and 90% of jobs I've seen, 6 of those hours, these people ain't doing shit. Like, this is where you know it's bullshit. You guys have the least vacation days out of most countries, even compared to Japan, but yet you produce the least. So, oh, we're hard work. No, you're not. Sitting on your ass for 6 hours ain't hard work. I'm not shitting on office work, by the way. Office work is hard as fuck. But that's the other thing, is that America doesn't have a work culture like Japan or Mexico. And this is a fact, because even hardworking Americans, dude, the amount of times I've had white Americans come up to me and say, oh, Mexicans are hard workers, right? Yeah, it's a stereotype, but it doesn't help that I am part of the stereotype to an extent, right? And mind you, I'm not as hard. Like, I don't have them. Like, I am on the belief of, if you're gonna go to a job, do your fucking job. But to me, that's the bare minimum. And as an American, that's like, oh my god, you're fucking a hard worker. It's like, dude, like, I don't go out of my way. Like, here's the difference between me and other ones. I like to get paid for what's due. I don't like my this and that. You know, Mexicans, they'll work for pennies. I'm not of that philosophy. That's where, like, I'm like not full. I'll admit it. If I work hard, I demand to get paid hard. Mexicans, they just work hard, bro. They're like, I'm getting paid, fuck it, I'll work hard. You know, I don't have that kind of mentality. On top of that, I am the belief of, if I can work less for more, I'll do that shit. You know, that is not as a Mexican mentality. They're just like, fuck it, work hard. Don't think. Thinking's for the gay. And I'm not capping. That's what it is. Why a lot of Mexicans are like, instead of going to college, like, oh no, go work. You know, then it's not as. That's why I think Japan has a better work culture in a sense, because they're at least like, oh, go to college, then go to work. You know, that's where they get the ups. But yeah, again, culture is a huge part. Again, that's why, because again, why have I never seen Japanese or Mexican tweets about, oh, fighting games are too hard? Because they don't have a lazy work culture like Americans do. I think that's really what it boils down to. It's crazy how I kind of looped into that. I'm going off too long on this. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop, because it is something I'm tight about, dude. Holy shit, I was not expecting that. Anyways, what was the next topic we should bring up?